Discussion. Letter to Yemonja, the mother of all waters, the Orisha of the fishes. Today, the woman at the Fera declared you dead. She pronounced this fact and no one contradicted her. Your skin, they say, is fair, your hair the color of the moon, your eyes like the sea, you come for men at night. In the land the world says is more African than Africa, O mother of the fishes, mother of the orishas that form all things between earth and sky, my truth is shunned. Mother who nurtures the world's children in this land among even those who think me Bayana, there is only place for the saints and blonde hair. Mother of the soft rising mist, you who are the wave and foam, I no longer want to explain, eu não falo Portuguese. Where I come from, mermaids are every shade, especially black. The Morena arrived blood-soaked along the Mercy and Matilda, keened memory and your name into the souls that survived living. They show themselves when called and can sing sanity from men who plead for love or riches. In the curve of their tails, they cradle abandoned children. I should be enchanted. The way people blend, the way they have collapsed divergent, violent histories into one nationalistic view of imagined unity. The way Brazil called me back after 6 years, begging to be understood. My relationship with this land of Orisha is long. My grandfather walked here once, and I walked once before him. Both memories are buried under church stairs, and hunger so deep even the trees starve. O mother whose reach has no boundary, mother of the rainbow, your children should look for your face in the sun, dive into your great skirt and follow your voice to the depth. Mother of the middle passage, the one who fed us even as we refused, you who rocked us to sleep in the womb of death, they would find what I find every day when I bow to your blazing beauty, a woman caressing the bones of her drowned children, her skin burned to sugar, her hair seaweed and shell-locked, and in her heart a space for us all. For Mairead, after seeing Gable End, Ireland. Every part of the world has a door of no return. Somewhere once, or even now, as you hear this, a mother does not wave goodbye to her child. She does not want to waste the movement. Instead, she runs to the child before anyone can stop her, cries into her mouth, and rubs the last tear into her left eye. As long as this child lives, she will see only her mother's grief and taste its salty bitterness through every passage in her life. My own mother passed this gift to me, the ability to simultaneously lose my country, myself, my secure knowledge that I owned the world. She made me promise not to wave goodbye to things I would never hope to reclaim, like my name. Once whispered with pride by priests the day of my birth, it is lost forever. I spit it into the Atlantic, my last crossing, hoping one day I would find it. But I have not come that way since, and it has not called me back. Somewhere in Ireland or Senegal or the United States, people pass through darkness, every day afraid, hopeless, naked, and shaken by what has been done and what will be done in the name of satisfaction. They can no longer prepare their children for this journey or teach them about their own. The children have learned history from books and movies and know all there is to know. At this moment, the woman you hear crying is my mother, or perhaps she is yours. She is probably be the mother of every woman we have ever known. After so many centuries, she is tearless. She is afraid her grief will be forgotten. She believes we have all abandoned her and is praying that one day we will return. But she is too tired to wait for us to take up her life with our own. At the top of the stairs, she has left her memories in a drop of blood. Thank you.
Disappointed you feel, because I feel it too. And now, so do tens of millions of Americans who invested their hopes and dreams in this effort.
Well, that's one way to get a show started. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ursula Kuhar. I am going to be your tour guide for this magical mystery, music, art, social change, intersectionality, fabulousness that is Let Us Persist. So again, thank you all for being here today. Just to give you a little background on what you just saw, that is a song cycle entitled The Hillary Speeches by a composer based in New York, Glenn Roven, who is very, very highly regarded in Broadway circles as well as in the cabaret scene. And this was a response to what happened in our last election. Beautiful music, beautiful text. We also heard so profoundly, so movingly, I don't know if that's a real word. I have a doctoral degree. I should know if that's a real word or not. Anyhow, I'm going to take it right now. #movingly. We heard some beautiful, beautiful original spoken word poetry from Dr. Abagunde. Yeah. Yeah, there is a beautiful little child raising the roof back there. He or she is my spirit animal. You are a spirit animal. Dr. Abagunde is an ancestral priest of the Yoruba Orisha tradition, a poet, a community worker, cultural activist, and a Black studies practitioner. Her research, creative writing, and exhibitions focus on intergenerational and ancestral memory, trauma, and healing, particularly as those relate to women of color. She is also on the faculty at IU, and we'll be hearing from her again later in the program. We have a real fun evening for you, and just to remind you, there are tables set up. I hope some of you partook of some of the wonderful task force groups that are here from the UUC, as well as the food trucks. Please say bye, learn some more about some of the organizations doing some great work in the greater Bloomington community that are also accepting donations. Hello, friend. Welcome. So to kind of keep the program going, I want to give you a preview of what's happening next. We're going to be hearing from a fine member of the Jacob School of Music voice faculty, Marietta Simpson. Marietta Simpson, she is a teacher and a singer. She is a daughter of a mother who saw the possibilities of her life when she did not, and the mother of one amazing daughter and son-in-law, and a grandmother to 4 beautiful, intelligent little girls who are going to change the world. So, and from Miss Simpson, accompanied by the lovely Kim Carballo on the piano, we will be hearing Lee Hoybee's Lady of the Harbor.
Perhaps this will be a duet.
Give me your time, your poor, your
have to tie in a little personal story. So I did my doctorate here in voice at Jacobs, and Miss Simpson was my voice teacher. And 10 years later, I still am completely enraptured and moved by any time she opens her beautiful mouth, singing gorgeous songs. So, love you, mean it. Not only are we showcasing some fantastic performing arts here, but we want to showcase some of the incredible visual artists that we have here in our Bloomington community. That's one thing I love about Bloomington. That's one of the reasons why I came back after being away for a couple years, is this is such a wonderful, welcoming, inclusive, a community that champions each other, that supports one another, lifts each other's up, especially in the arts. I've never seen anything like it in any other city. So I want to welcome one of the artists we're going to be chatting with, the lovely Lynn Gilliott, to talk to us for a moment. So Lynn, could you tell us what medium you work with as a visual artist?
Usually I work with chalk pastel sticks on fine grade sanded paper made for pastels.
And you can see some of Lynn's artwork being projected up on the walls. So Lynn, what is some of the inspiration for you as an artist?
Well, really, it's just using my eyes. I look more than I ever listen, and I'm constantly actually looking at patterns of color. And I also use my nose. So I am pretty inspired by smells, and it could even be a shadow, or this singer's red shoes up here.
So inspiration from all the senses.
That's good.
Good. Thank you so much for being part of today with us and for sharing your art with us. All right, next up we have a performing arts collaboration with our wonderful instrumentalists, as well as some members of the Echo Dance Company, a local company here that fuses modern hip hop and jazz styles to connect with its viewers. They also have their spring production happening at the Waldron on May 20th at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. at the Waldron on May 20th, so be sure to check it out. And they will be collaborating with the instrumentalist led over here by Michaela Calzaretta on a piece called Heart of Fire, written by Lauren Bernofsky. Lauren is, that's right, Lauren's wonderful. So Lauren is here local now in Bloomington, a very active composer, performer, and educator who has been revered as one of the greatest of her generation, has been extensively recorded, has written in every oeuvre you could possibly think of, and quite successfully, and is now music director of the Musical Arts Youth Organization here in Bloomington. And the piece is entitled Heart of Fire, which is a way to express how powerful social change can be, and the people we owe so much to when it comes to being leaders and pioneers within civil rights, women's rights, and this is a tribute and testament to their work. So please welcome Echo Dance Company, as well as our instrumentalist, for Heart of Fire.
Sister, stranger number 2, my petition on the 7:15 a.m. train to Evanston. Let me wrap myself around you until you are warm. This morning, do not ask God what will happen to you. Do not wonder how you pass through spaces without doors. You have been made invisible by your own shame. The fear of others binds you to secret paths. Disown them all. Trust that the dream of a woman bathing you in hot water is real. Let me hold you. Let me touch and release the imprint of his fist on your right cheek. Let me erase memories of marble tables, plush velvet couches, hand-blown champagne glasses. Let my fingers remove silence from your spine. My sister, stand up straight. Hold up your head. Let it rest in my palm if it tears weigh you down. I come to cast off your weary body, shrouded in wool remnants washed too many times in the rain. You did not think I would come. You thought this morning I would be early, and I was. But your plea to wait stopped all our worlds. I know. You ran as fast as you could with your cloth totes in those tattered Nikes, the only shoes you own. At the end of the line, drop your bags under the tracks. Take only your grandmother's pewter frame, your sister's yellow silk scarf. Take nothing to remind you of these sleepless days in the Greyhound station or under the bridge at night. Let my tears scald despair from your cells. Let them soothe your skin with the scent of lavender and papaya. No one will offer a tissue, but I will cry for you until you feel free. This morning, let my sobs shape the new name you have chosen. Open your soul to my breath. Let my trembling body shake away all that you want disappeared. I am death's midwife, and I have come to witness your rebirth. Turn around before you exit the train. Yes, I see you. Explaining how I feel about the new executive order to my students in Juba, South Sudan. My dear, beautiful ones, as the child of immigrants, I am certain that building walls does not build alliances. It is not how one learns to fold kisra or eat Nile perch along the White River. I am certain that closing borders without discretion does not open doors. When stranded on a street where Sabu Care, followed by Shukran, might get you to where you're going with a bowl of hot lentil soup after an impromptu dance. My mother arrived in this country in 1958 and documented everything. She loved her bus trip to Canada, where she visited museums and grottos. When she returned home, she told everyone that she had seen grandeur images of the saints she would never forget. She didn't live to see her homeland invaded in the name of saving Americans first from New Jewel rebels who wanted to protect their nation from foreign terrorists on the sweet Isle of Spice. My family has always crossed borders. In the mid-1800s, my great-great-grandparents on my father's side, Maroons up from Jamaica, made their way to Arkansas and remained free. My mother's sister rode the West Indian wave to England. My mother's father, a tall Carib man, went to Panama to build the canal. I've got family who know where we are heading if we remain silent. My cousin in Caracas said one day when we were speaking of mangoes, there is a special place in hell for Chavez, for every right he violated. My beloveds, I am meandering, but journeys are like so. That tall Carib man made his way to Brazil to roll cigars. He could not have known that 80 years later I would sail down the Amazon a free woman, dressed in white, praising Yemonja in a forgotten language that had remembered me. I am the child who was born in the middle of world revolution. My parents sent me to live where spice flows free so I could learn to wield a machete and a pen with the sweetness and strength of sugarcane. I did not learn the meaning of words such as negro, gal, anger, grief, shame, pain, fear, until I come to America. But here, I learn also words such as no, stop, black, proud, rights, resistance, and freedom. I intend to speak them in every language I know, even when I sleep, because we who believe in freedom cannot rest.
There is good stuff happening here, my friends. We are now headed into what we like to call the seventh inning stretch of the evening. We are going to be setting up our instrumentalists and our wonderful singers to prepare for the next piece, Where We Stand, a piece written by Chapel Kingsland with text by Senator Bernie Sanders, which is a dynamite piece like you wouldn't believe. So what we'd like you to do while we're getting set up a little bit, turn to your neighbor, make a friend, talk about why you're here, talk about what you're passionate about, what change you want to make in the world.
Know your place. Shut up and smile. Don't spread your legs. Ooh, I could do that. But no one knows me, no one ever will. If I don't say something, if I just lie still, would I be a monster, scare them all away? If I let them hear what I have to say, I can't keep quiet, no, no, I can't keep quiet, no, no, one woman riot, no, I can't keep quiet for anyone. No, not anymore, 'cause no one knows me, no one ever will. If I don't
Are we good? I heard some lovely discussions and lots of laughter and smiles, so I know we're doing something right. All right, back to the program. Please welcome the company for Where We Stand. Music by Chapel Kingsland, text by Senator Bernie Sanders. pretty boss. That was pretty boss. And if I'm correct, that was a world premiere. Yes, that was written for this. Was it, Kim? Specially arranged for us by Chapel Kingston. So you heard it here first, friends. A couple other things that to do during this little interlude is we are actually live streaming this concert right now for our friends on the internet. So friends on the internet, hello. We hope you're enjoying yourselves as much as we're enjoying this time. Those of you, when you came in and checked into the front desk, we had some raffle tickets for you. We have some lovely parting gifts for today. Yes, get out your raffle tickets. We've got some lovely, lovely treats to distribute to you. Hi, friend. What's your name?
Samson.
Samson, would you like to be my special handy-dandy assistant and help me with this out? Awesome. Yeah, okay. Whatever, Ursula. Everyone, welcome Samson. All right, so we're gonna give some people some presents because presents are awesome, right? Yeah, I love presents for a reason, for no reason. I like to treat myself on occasion as well. So the first thing we have going off in a raffle is we have some 2 lovely pussycat hats. Hashtag let us persist. So, Samson, can you draw 2 coupons out? Not coupons, raffle tickets out of here for me? All right. We have tickets 320743. Anyone? Awesome! Come up and claim your hat. And for the other hat, we have ticket 320781. All right, come on up. Already sporting a fabulous hat. Now you get to add an additional one to your collection. Awesome. Miranda will pass you your hat. Already sporting a lovely one. Nice lavender hue. Now you've got the magenta soft pink to go with that. I dabble as a knitwear stylist, y'all. All right, Samson, for our next one, we have another hat that's filled with some lovely, lovely self-care goodies. I believe there's some creams in there, essential oil-like things to feel very zen, very one with Gaia, or just smelling delicious and you get to wear a cute hat at the same time. So, Samson, can you pull one out for me, bud? All right. You want to read this one for me? Yeah?
320793.
320793, where are you at? Come on down. Thanks, buddy. Miranda has a lovely prize for you. All right. I don't know about you, but I think Bloomington has some of the best food ever, period. All about celebrating local. It's delicious. I gotta tell you, when I left, I was craving Mother Bears and Farm and hopscotch like a boss every other day. So what we have, we physically don't have them here right now, but the lovely people of Oolsing Coffee, everyone knows Oolsing, right? That cold brew that keeps you going all day. I need like an IV of it. Frankly, it's totally delicious. These fine people we are raffling off these next 4 prizes are 4 6-packs of Oolsing cold brew. Yeah, that's right. Ooh. So you're gonna get your caffeine fix on. So Samson, my friend, can you pick out 4 raffle tickets for me? And these 4, what you will do is you will go talk with one of the coordinators, either Amanda or Rachel, someone out in the hall after the performance to get all of that coordinated. All right, we've got 4 here. Amanda is this beautiful provider right here. And Rachel is right behind her. All right. So Samson, how about you take 2 and I take 2? You want to read your 2?
Yeah. No, the 320651.
320651. Awesome. We've got one.
320779.
320779. Where you at? Did they leave? That means someone else is going to get their coffee, possibly. One last time, 320799. Nope, Samson, pull another one out there. Yeah, don't tell them. This is our secret, guys. I trust all of you inherently. We're mishpuka at this point. All right, Samson, can you read that one right there for me?
320744.
320744. Excellent. And then my two, 320652. 320652. Excellent. Excellent. Samson did not fix this? No. And 320830. Excellent. All right. Make sure to connect with Amanda or Rachel after the concert, and they will connect you with your lovely cold brew. And then last, I'll take those from you, my friend. Thank you. Last but certainly not least, the good people of Spa. I know, right? The good people of Spa have a lovely certificate that they have offered us to raffle off for tonight's festivities. So Samson, can you do the honors? Getting one, our last raffle item. All right, can you read it out for me, bud?
320610.
320610. Come on up. All right, thanks for playing. We had a great time. And can everyone give Samson a round of applause for being totally... Samson's got a few, Price is Right maybe one day, guy. I sense big things for you in Hollywood. Right here. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, next up we are going to hear from both visual artist and poet Breon Tyler. Breon, come on up.
Oh, this is a visual, it's Leon Holiday.
Just kidding. Hi. All right, actually, next we're going to hear from one of our another visual artists. Breon's a visual artist, though, so I wasn't too off. We are going to hear from another one of our lovely community members, Miss Luann Holiday.
Hi. I'm Luann. And what we're going to look at are some postcards that are part of a project that I started for my own self-preservation and my sanity. And because I, like a lot of people, work through a lot of anxiety and fear and anger and just pissed offedness after the election. And I felt like I was spinning my wheels and I couldn't get traction for a long time. And I was talking to friends who felt the same way. And so, because I've been carving blocks, I carve vinyl. It's kind of like linoleum carving. I've been doing block printing for about 20 years. I get pissed off about something, and I'd carve a block and decide I'd make a postcard out of it to send to my elected representatives, who's... I sent postcards to every single member of the House Oversight Committee more than once. Anyway, what I started doing in connection with this, because I knew people who shared my desire to do something, is that I started having these little, I call them fun time art and activism lunch drop-ins. And I have some on weekdays, some on weekends. And they're just spaces for friends to come and make this stuff and send it and talk about making phone calls and how you make phone calls, what your messaging is, who to write, what to say. It's sort of a gateway drug to personal political action. It's an entry point for many of us who've been unsure about how to speak about what matters to us. And so it seemed to me, because I do a lot of art making with groups, art making brings people together. And it's empowering. You feel like you're not the only one. And it's a reminder that we're all drops in a really big ocean, and that we matter, and what we do matters. What I does. And so my motto now is doing a thing is better than doing no thing, and this is part of that idea. And so I brought some of these postcards, and there are people in this room who've done this with me, for sure. It's really satisfying, and it's an ongoing project, and I will continue this into the foreseeable future. And if anybody wants to stop by later and grab one of these, the only rule is that you have to send it. So, thank you.
And now we will be hearing from Breon Tyler. And just to let you know a little bit about Breon, she is originally from Virginia, my old stomping ground, who is an artist whose favorite medium is lithography. And she's currently a graduate student here at Indiana, studying in the Department of African American and African Diaspora Studies. And she also works in East Asian languages and cultures. Talk about a beautiful cornucopia and an artist right there. And her research focuses on why and how Black people love despite the physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual violence they have endured and are still enduring. Everyone, welcome Breon Tyler.
Good evening. I want to give thanks first. So thank you to everyone who has invested their time and energy into making this program happen. So that includes all of the artists tonight. Thank you to Amanda and Kim for letting us be a part of your vision. Thank you to Satsu, Ursula, John, Andy, Abby for all your technical support. And thank you to everyone in the audience for showing up tonight. I am grateful for Dr. Abegunde, who gave up one of her slots so that her sister friend's voice could be heard tonight. It is because of her that I have been given this opportunity. Thank you to my mother, who passed away last year, to Abegunde, and to my brother from another mother, Andre, for nudging me to embrace and embody the magnificent woman I was born to be. Toward the end of my mother's life, she made a conscious effort to trust her intuition and do the work she needed to do so she could rest peacefully. She did the work she needed to do so that neither I nor my sisters would inherit it. You see, when the parents don't do the work they promised the ancestors, it gets passed down to the children. Now my sisters and I get to pick up where our mother left off. Thank you, Mommy. There is a poem by Janice Lore titled Note on the Castle Door. It's about a princess locked in a stone tower who grows tired of waiting for a prince to save her. And so one day, she decides to become her own salvation, to embody the love she seeks, and to get out of the tower to create the life she's envisioned for herself. My mother realized how to get out of the tower and did it. Now it's my turn. I must say that I am grateful for my father and the sacrifices he made for me and my sisters. Without him, I may not be standing here in front of you all today. But tonight, I want to honor the feminine and all the women in my tribe, those who have transitioned and those who are still living. This poem I wrote is for them, and it is for the feminine in all of us here tonight. I apologize for the explicative already. Origins. I come from women. I come from women who don't take no shit. I come from a woman who took an axe to her husband's car and the floor of her sun porch to spare her husband's life and his mistress's. I come from a woman confronted by the barrel of a pistol with a bullet inches away from her flesh, her brain, her life. On the other side of that pistol, her husband, her lover, the father of her children. I come from women abused, forced upon, cut by a jagged, forked tongue. Had it been razor sharp, the cut would have hurt less, and the scar may not have revealed itself to the eye. I come from women who are rough to the touch, every crevice and curve of their bodies, because they have been cut so deep that scar tissue mounds scar tissue, mounding scar tissue that mounds more scar tissue, burying the wound. A witness who can testify to their vulnerability. I come from these women, rough women, tough women. These are the women in my tribe. I come from the Black mother who resides in us all. I'm talking about that woman who many do not want to claim, but who is the key to our wholeness, to our liberation, even men's liberation. Yes, she lives in you too. The divine mother, the origin of all life. I come from women, I come from women, I come from women, weak women, broken women, mean women, kind women, disappointed women, wild women, like Ida Cox. They don't worry, because they don't sing no blues. I come from them. Thank you.
Oh, there's good stuff happening here, y'all. Next up, we will have our lovely vocalist back on the stage doing a piece called Shine the Day Sun by a composer, Wilson Shitandi. Wilson is Associate Dean and Senior Lecturer at Kabarak University in the School of Performing Arts in Kenya. And I know Indiana University, I know especially Kim, has a great affinity for the music programs there and the partnership programs there that are happening. So this is a piece, and Kim, this was arranged for us for today. Specially written for today. Another world premiere, you guys. You are just slamming it out of the park when it comes to new music. He and other music educators from universities in Kenya and the United States, like I said, lots of partnership agreements, have initiated a project called Tunaweza Kimuziki, a music and cultural exchange project that aims to nurture and promote music talents.
Be the light that shines in darkness. Shine your kindness and shine your love. Ogni uovo una disatorò. Disagio amici fu capo. Shine, 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 shine. Shine, shine like the day. Shine, 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 shine. Shine, shine like the day's sun.
And now for something completely different. Next up, we have something I've been super, super stoked about. All of this I've been stoked about, but I've really been super stoked about this since we started talking about the concert. Next up, we have the Dark Side Tribal Belly Dance Ensemble. It's an American tribal style belly dance ensemble based in Bloomington, Indiana, formed about 10 years ago with the goal of exploring and promoting the strength, power, and grace of American tribal style belly dance, as well as celebrating the community building aspects of improvisational group dance. Please welcome them. Yas! That was awesome. My students say that, but when I do that, apparently it's embarrassing, but I do like that word. Yas! All right, next up, we will be showcasing another visual artist here, local to Bloomington. Carol, I believe, is not here with us, but Lynn, who we heard from, Carol is here. Carol, come on down. Everyone, please welcome Carol. Show her a little love. Tag teaming today. Tag teaming today. All right. Carol, could you talk to us about what mediums you use as a visual artist?
I use oil, acrylic, anything I can get my hands on.
Anything you can. I like the way you think. So, what have been some big sources of inspiration in her arts being showcased up on the walls? What have been some of your sources of inspiration as an artist?
Life. Traveling and seeing other cultures and beautiful things.
Is there any culture that has just struck a chord with you, or any place you've traveled that just has sustained with you as an artist and maybe has continued to be an inspiration for you?
Mostly Caribbean countries and
Any favorites?
Jamaica.
Jamaica. I like Jamaica. Beautiful. I see you, and even nature inspires you a little bit.
It does. It does.
That's excellent. Well, thank you so much for being here today and talking with us a little bit. Everyone, thank Carol. And Lynn. Thank you. All right, next up we are going to be hearing from a singer, the lovely Yuri Rodriguez. To give you a little background on Yuri, she is a Costa Rican soprano who studied here at the Jacob School of Music at Indiana University and has had a robust career both within classical and popular idioms. Yuri currently works right now as the Associate Director of Hispanic Music at Christ Church Cathedral up in Indianapolis. I know she is going to be accompanying herself on the guitar, and I just got to say I heard her in dress rehearsal, and it was just absolutely divine. She's going to be showcasing some songs from Latin America. So everyone, please welcome Yuri Rodriguez.
Check, sí. 1, 2, 3, sí. Well, I want to first thank all of you for being here. Thank you, Kim, for inviting me to this wonderful concert. It really is a great honor for me to be here, and I do it with great love because I love Bloomington. I spent many years here. Both my 2 daughters were born here, so Bloomington is definitely a second home for us. The songs that you will hear today are La Cigarra, and, is that right? Yes, Como la Cigarra, and then Todo Cambia. Both songs are inspired in Latin American protest songs from the 70s that were made very popular by a great performer and singer named Mercedes Sosa. She was an Argentinian folk singer that also did some protest songs. So based on her music, that's where I come from. Cuántas veces me mataron, tantas veces me morí, sin embargo estoy aquí resucitando. Gracias doy a la desgracia y a la mano con puñal, porque me mató tan mal. Y seguí cantando, cantando al sol como la cigarra, después de un año bajo la tierra, igual que el sobreviviente que vuelve de la guerra. ¿Cuántas veces me mataron? Tantas desaparecí, a mi propio entierro fui sola y llorando. Hice un nudo en el pañuelo, pero me olvidé después que no era la única vez. Y seguí cantando, cantando al sol como la cigarra, después de un año bajo la tierra, igual que el sobreviviente que vuelve de la guerra. ¿Cuántas veces te mataron? Tantas resucitarás. ¿Cuántas noches pasarás sola y llorando? Y a la hora del naufragio y de la oscuridad, alguien te rescatará para ir cantando, cantando al sol como la cigarra, después de un año bajo la tierra, igual que el sobreviviente que vuelve de la guerra. Gracias, gracias. Thank you very much. The next song is Todo Cambia, Change, Everything Changes. And I'm going to ask for your help, if I may, to sing the refrain. It's very easy. Repeat after me. Cambia, cambia. Todo cambia. Todo cambia. That's all it says. It's very easy. And so the music or the melody is this. Cambia, todo cambia. Let's repeat together. Cambia, todo cambia. The second part. Cambia, todo cambia. Everybody. Cambia, todo cambia. Now the first one. Cambia, todo cambia. Cambia, todo cambia. Very good. So I will cue you. Cambia lo superficial, cambia también lo profundo, cambia el modo de pensar, cambia todo en este mundo, cambia el clima con los años, cambia el pastor su rebaño, y así como todo cambia, que yo cambie no es extraño. Cambia el más fino brillante, de mano en mano su brillo, cambia el nido el pajarillo, cambia el sentir un amante, cambia el rumbo el caminante, aunque esto le cause daño, y así como todo cambia, que yo cambie no es extraño. Todos. Todo cambia, cambia, todo cambia, cambia, todo cambia. carrera. Cuando la noche subsiste, cambia la planta y se viste de verde la primavera. Cambia el pelaje la fiera, cambia el cabello el anciano. Y así como todo cambia, que yo cambie no es extraño. Pero no cambia mi amor, por más lejos que me encuentre, ni el recuerdo ni el dolor de mi pueblo y de mi gente. Y lo que cambió ayer tendrá que cambiar mañana, así como cambio yo en esta tierra lejana. Dice, cambia todo, cambia, cambia todo, cambia, cambia todo, cambia, cambia todo, cambia, pero no cambia mi amor, por más lejos que me encuentre, ni el recuerdo ni el dolor de mi pueblo y de mi gente. Y lo que cambió ayer tendrá que cambiar mañana, así como cambio yo en esta tierra lejana. Cambia todo, cambia, cambia todo, cambia, cambia todo, cambia, cambia todo, cambia. Todo cambia. Thank you very much.
All right, next we will be hearing from Dr. Amrita Myers, who is the Ruth N. Halls Associate Professor of History and Gender Studies at IU. She is a historian of the Black female experience in the U.S., and her interests revolve around issues on race, gender, freedom, and power, and the ways in which these constructs intersect with one another in the lives of Black women and in the Old South. She was a recipient of several awards at the university, has accolades both nationally and internationally, and is currently working on her second book, Remembering Julia, A Tale of Sex, Race, Power, and Place. Everyone, please welcome Dr. Amrita Myers to the stage.
Good evening. Is this on? Yeah? You can hear me? Great. I'm in the rather unenviable position of going after all of those amazing artists. I'm a little bit, I'm not sure how to follow that. Let me start, however, by thanking Kim and Amanda, who invited me to speak tonight, and just for everybody who's participated in pulling off this amazing event, which I think they organized in like 6 weeks or something crazy like that. It's unbelievable. So, I've been struggling about this particular talk. It's the third talk I've given in like 6 days. But I've been struggling about it in particular just because I was asked to talk tonight about intersectionality. And over the last couple of weeks, there have been some interesting incidences that remind me that intersectionality is hard. Right? It's what we should be striving for, but it's difficult. A couple of weeks ago, there was an event that was held on the IU campus that I helped to organize called Violent Intersections. It was bringing a lot of different people and groups together to talk about violence against women of color. in the United States. And after the event, I received an email from one of the groups that had tabled at the event that evening. And basically, they were asking why another group had been permitted to be at the tabling event. I actually really appreciated the email because it was really kindly worded, and it was definitely about dialogue, but it reminded me of the fault lines that still kind of exist within social justice communities. And I wanted to just read the email exchange to you because I thought it was really instructive for me. So, greetings, Amrita. I hope this message finds you well. First, I wanted to thank you for organizing Tuesday's event. It was such an important conversation to have had, and I'm so grateful that you were able to facilitate a powerful presentation and discussion. It is so crucial for all of us to be educated about and fully aware of how women of color interact with systems created to disenfranchise, oppress, and even kill us, as well as how to dismantle those systems of oppression. It was also wonderful that you were able to organize the Justice Fair as a way for people to find ways to act on the information that they received during the presentations and discussion. X Center, so I've taken out all names, right? So X Center was happy to be able to attend and table at the Justice Fair. I was, however, concerned about the presence of Y organization at the fair, at a fair that focused on social justice. I'm aware of and acknowledge the importance of the services they provide to the community. We at X Center serve the same families in similar capacities and are all too familiar with the lack of support these families face. But I'm curious to know how this organization fits into the social justice framework when so many of their practices involve religion and religious coercion. Now seems like a time when we need to be clear about the kind of practices that uphold systems of oppression and those that aim to fight oppression. Thank you for opening this dialogue and for being receptive to my concerns. So this is my response, because I'd like to talk to people about these things, right? Dear X, thanks for your note. I'm really glad that you enjoyed the events on Tuesday evening. I'm sorry that you and I didn't get a chance to meet in person, but I hope that you connected with many new allies and colleagues at the Justice Fair. I'm so glad that X Center was there. I appreciate you taking the time to write to me about why organizations' participation at the fair. I'm happy to share my thoughts with you on why I asked them to participate. I had a lunch meeting with their director in February, and we spoke at great length about the work they've been doing over the last few years. I was struck by how many of the women they serve are sexual assault survivors, and how many more every single year are undocumented immigrant women. The amount of time and energy that the staff at Y organization puts into fighting to get services for undocumented women, as well as the opportunities they provide to assault survivors, really resonated with me, and with the overarching goals for the Violent Intersections event. I also discovered in my conversation that not a single staff member at Y organization had voted for 45, which I refuse to name him. I won't. Not a single staff member at Y organization had voted for 45, which I found striking for an organization that is faith-based and, quite frankly, refreshing. Finally, I thought a lot about how many women of color are also women of faith who believe that fetuses are human lives. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are anti-choice for others, but they are pro-life for themselves. In the sincerest effort at being truly intersectional in how I think about alliances, strategies, and internal group dynamics, I believe that it was good for us to have Y organization at the fair. They speak to a segment of the population that we need to work with. Women of faith who are committed to education, to healthcare, to racial justice, to so many other things on which we can all agree, but they have yet to be fully incorporated into our larger feminist movement because of their religious beliefs. I understand that you and others might disagree with me. That's okay. Just because we are all committed to the cause of gender and racial justice doesn't mean that we will agree on every issue or decision across the board. I do, however, think that we need to respect those differences and try to work across those lines. That is what I hope Tuesday evening reflected. It is certainly the position from which I function. Again, I appreciate you taking the time to write me. I cherish the ability to dialogue. That's what set the tone for me as I thought about what else to say to you this evening, because I know that similar tensions have arisen over the organizing of tonight's event, that there were some people who struggled about whether or not they should be a part of the event because of the presence of one or another group that was also going to be here this evening. So brothers and sisters, I'm going to be blunt with you. We benefit no one if we continue to create factions amongst ourselves. We just don't. We just don't. If we truly wish for feminism and social justice to be inclusive, then we must be committed to intersectionality in its glorious and uncomfortable forms. What does that mean? One, for those organizations that are monoracial, right, specific to certain racial or ethnic groups and communities, we in those communities need to accept, reach out to, and make alliances with the most vulnerable members of our communities, people who have been left out in many of the conversations, those who are gay, those who are trans, right? Those who make some of us feel uncomfortable. My white brothers and sisters, you're going to have to strive to build alliances across racial and ethnic boundaries and help to build a foundation of trust, because there is still suspicion due to a very long, ugly, racist history, right? Even if we just look at the history of feminism in the United States. So if point one is that we in our own communities have to start reaching out to those people that we have excluded, then you're going to have to start to work to build those alliances of trust with those, marginalized communities. That's not a word I really like, but let's just call it that. Okay. 3, all of us, every single one of us, is going to have to actively embrace intersectional goals. Are we willing to stand up and protect undocumented people? Are we going to stand against Islamophobia? Are you going to openly stand up with me and proclaim that Black Lives Matter? Yes. Let me hear you say it again. Black Lives Matter. Yes. Yes. Are we all, as a group, committed to saying that water is life and working with our indigenous brothers and sisters to protect their property and their lives from corporate greed? Yes. Yo, you've already got the call and response going. This is so great. I didn't have to say it. Do we all care that 14 African American girls have gone missing from the Washington, D.C. area in just the last 2 weeks? Yes. But the media doesn't seem to care. Point 4, because the workers are diverse and the goals many, we have got to be willing to use numerous and varying strategies of resistance. There's no one way, because there's not just one problem. It's multifaceted. We've got to be willing to work together and strategize and use all of the skills that we have been given to address all of these issues. If we accept that intersectionality is critical but also difficult, we have got to be willing to accept that at times we will disagree with one another. It's just going to happen. But are we going to walk away every time we disagree or don't get our way? Thank you. Most importantly, are we willing to let all people speak for themselves, especially those who come from vulnerable populations? Friends, intersectionality means being uncomfortable, but it is worth it when we look at what we achieve together. Progress is slow, it isn't easy. We have to be willing to listen to those who differ from us and slow to speak. We have to be humble. We have to approach the work of intersectionality from the position that those of us with privilege, we are not here to order other people around, but we have come to learn and work alongside vulnerable populations as their allies, allowing marginalized groups to speak for themselves. We have to be patient, realizing that it takes time to build trust. Consider the fact that many women of color, myself included, are still reeling from the fact that 52% of white women in this country voted for President Agent Orange. Folks, it's really not enough, and I've run into a lot of white women who have said, well, I didn't vote for him. That's fine, but guess what? Your job doesn't end by saying, I didn't vote for him. If I'm committed to working to make women of color organizations safe spaces for gay and trans women, then my white feminist sisters, you're going to have to be equally committed to working with those amongst you who are not yet in the fold of feminism. You've got a job to do. We all have jobs to do. None of this is going to happen overnight, right? We know this. Patience, self-reflection. Are we willing to set aside pride, defensiveness, willing to apologize to one another when we make mistakes? Let's face it, we're all going to make mistakes. We're human beings. I'm a work in progress. And we can be liberals and left of center and still screw up all the time. We all have issues to work on. I don't care how progressive you are. You ain't perfect. You're not finished yet. You're not finished yet. I'm not finished yet. But I know we can do it together. It's worth it. I want to close by talking a little bit about slogans. You know, cute slogans are, well, they're cute. You know, I'm with her. Nasty woman, she persisted. I'm wearing a cute t-shirt. I'm a nasty woman PhD, educator, feminist, activist, right? I don't have a problem with cute t-shirts or cute slogans. Here's the thing, though. In and of themselves, they get us absolutely nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Do we really want to see equity and justice come for all people? Do we really care that while white women make 77 cents on the dollar, blacks and Latinas make in the 50s and 60 cents on the dollar? Are we just really interested in acquiring for ourselves the power that exists in the current system? Or are we committed to a radical transformation and restructuring of US society in order to provide the equal access to things like healthcare, a living wage, and education to every single person who lives in this nation? Every single one of us sitting in this room has some kind of privilege, whether it is class, education, gender, race, sexuality, regardless of what it is time for each and every single one of us to stand up and use the privilege we have to benefit the whole. We need to actually use our privilege to dismantle a system that we may currently benefit from in some way. We didn't help create it, but our silence helps to perpetuate it. We cannot continue to be complicit in upholding it. That's simply no longer reasonable. We have seen what has happened when we choose to just put up and shut up because it's too scary to say otherwise or do otherwise. We all have to fight for everyone's fair share. I saw a meme that I loved. Equal rights for others doesn't mean fewer rights for you. It's not pie. I loved it, but it's so true. It's so true. So I want to ask you something tonight. Are you really ready to move beyond the cute slogans? Are you really ready to do the hard work of grassroots activism? Because guess what? It can get boring, it can get tedious, it can become discouraging. But that's how the work gets done. It's not all in the streets with a megaphone in your hand, right? That's fun, but that's only one part of what happens. That's only one part of what happens. So are you ripe? Have you seen that? Are you ripe? Are you ready to resist? Are you ready to insist? Are you ready to persist? And are you ready to enlist, right? Resistance can get tiring. Insistence can become tiring. Persistence can become dangerous. And enlisting is critical so that activism doesn't die out with one generation, right? Are you willing to put it all into action? If so, then I want you to say with me, this is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. You are all what democracy looks like. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Myers. That was empowering. We're reaching that magical time, friends. I have a couple thanks I want to give regarding tonight's concert before we do our last number. everyone who donated their time to make this concert a reality, volunteers, our vendors, the wonderful food trucks that were here earlier this evening, those of you who sat at tables, led some activities in the fellowship hall, thank you so much. Get this, 56 volunteers, performers, and artists who made tonight possible. Yeah. Pretty great. The wonderful folks here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Bloomington, thank you for donating your space. Thank you to the Social Justice Task Force, especially Jackie Hall and the many task force leaders who were here to help today and represented your church so well, and especially to the lovely Carol Marks for answering so many questions for us throughout this process. Yeah, she's pretty great. Also to Rachel Evans, who helped coordinate all those wonderful food trucks. Rachel, thank you. And also Rachel and Amanda Sessler, not only singers, but they also set up all the craft tables for those of you to do activities. The wonderful Satsu Holmes, who stage managed for us today. Thank you for coming home to Bloomington to help us out. The beautiful John Stanty, our media coordinator, back there, making it happen. And I've got to say, from, I know, the bottom of my heart, all the performers in this heart, massive, massive props, snaps, love, shout out, hollows to Amanda Russo Stanty and to Kim Carballo for... This was your baby and you made it happen, and it was beautiful. So thank you for letting all of us be part of it. Like Dr. Myers said, our work is kind of just beginning at this point. This is not an end. This has definitely been a huge inspiration for me, and we've got to keep momentum going. Change happens at a cellular level. My mother was a lobbyist and an activist for healthcare, so was my father. I'm the granddaughter of refugees. I am a union member, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the biggest lessons they taught me was if you want something to happen, you have to take it into your own hands and make the work happen at a local cellular level. And also, silos just don't work. If anything we've learned tonight, silo effect does not lead to productive change, productive conversations. Do something. Hopefully there's something that has made you thought a little bit here this evening, which will inspire you to do, which will inspire you to activate and engage. And I've got to tell you, from working with my friends here tonight and all the new friends I made here, you guys have incredible stories. Share them, because I know these stories, and I know our brothers and sisters' stories, and I know the stories that we come from already make America pretty darn great. So let's keep it going. So we are going to close with, all of you probably know this song. Those of you who maybe participated in a Women's March, or those of you who saw it, there was this great a cappella piece that was performed by some wonderful female a cappella groups, including some of my homegirls at Capitol Blend back in DC, arranged by an artist named Milk, called Quiet, which we were playing earlier at the beginning of the evening. So we're going to close out with everyone coming up on stage, all of our performers, to perform Quiet and join and sing with us. It's a great piece. It's the protest song, I think, for this next wave, this next course of action. So again, thank you so much for being here today, and welcome everyone back to the stage for a performance of Quiet. Thank you.